Mtendere Village is an orphanage that is home to 145 children ranging in ages from 2 weeks old to 23 years old. The majority of the children that make up Mtendere have either lost one or both of their parents. There are also instances when children are brought to Mtendere due to inadequate living conditions at their home village. The village chief will decide to send them to Mtendere because he knows they will always be provided with food and shelter. We went to Mtendere the first night we got to Malawi. They welcomed us with traditional song and dances they had rehearsed. 3 people from our group were chosen to be part of the ceremony and represented different people from the village. We all sang and danced and had a wonderful time celebrating together. Looking around, we can see that a lot of the children weren't wearing shoes. I remember wondering to myself if it was because they didn't have shoes to wear, or if they chose not to wear them that night. I observed that the children also had rips, tears, and dirt on their clothes, yet it didn't seem to make a difference to them. They were so happy and excited to see that we were there to visit them. We didn't know much about Mtendere Village before stepping foot in the orphanage, but when we got there, we took in all the village sights and sounds. We learned that they have limited amounts of shoes and maybe a few changes of clothes per child. We also noticed that children don't have their own rooms to themselves. They usually have to share with 3 to 4 other children from the orphanage. In each of the houses and buildings throughout the village, there is electricity, but it all just depends on the day and the time as to whether they may have it or not. If you live in Mtendere Village, your meals will consist of sema, or crushed corn, 3 times a day for each meal. There are certain days when they have a side of dried fish or vegetables to go along with it, which is considered a treat. We initially thought that Mtendere had some of the poorest living conditions we had seen so far. With all of that being said, when we went to visit a traditional Malawian village, we realized that the children of Mtendere are so blessed to have what they do. Even though they may not have sturdy shoes or many changes of clothes, they are lucky to even have those basic necessities. The children in the traditional village had no shoes on, and all of their clothes were completely covered in dirt. And while they have to share a room with 3 to 4 others, they are able to live in sturdy buildings with mattresses and blankets for each of the kids. The children and the adults of the other village only have thin blankets to sleep on. Although the electricity in Mtendere is inconsistent, they are so lucky to have that as an available resource because in most traditional rural villages, this is not a reality. They are also so fortunate to have running water throughout the village and not have to get it from a far way away. Originally, we thought that the children having to eat sema for each meal was unfortunate, but we realized very quickly how wonderful it is that they are able to eat 3 full meals a day and don't have to worry about being hungry. Because in many rural villages in Malawi, this is not the case. There are many times where they all struggle for food. All of this has helped me strengthen my cultural intelligence. I never would have thought that developing countries had so many different levels of poverty, but it is real, and we were able to experience this firsthand.